Welcome to Kabile Cashew Processing Factory, located in Kabile, Sampa, in the Bono Region. This is a semi cashew processing factory where we produce or where we process cashew or cashew nuts into edible cashew nuts, and they are being taken into the market. So you have some major steps that we take over here. We have about six of them. We do grading where we sample them, we separate the smaller ones from the larger ones. Then we now do cooking. And after we are done cooking, we bring them into the shelling room where we remove the shells from the cashew nut themselves. Then there's a separation between the cashew nut cells from the cashew nut, and they are being dried in the oven. Then we can now take them into the peeling room where they peel them, and we now take them to the sorting room and sort them and package them. And you now take them to the market. So that's the semi cashew processing and or cashew processes that take place in this company. I'll walk into you close and step as we go. This is the furnace. Over here, what actually happens is that we use steel to cook the cashew nut. So there's a water cycle at the back which is being used. And when it is pickled, uh, the fire is placed here. We use some of the cashew nut shells, which are somehow classified as waste. We put them inside and we use them as the source of fire or the source of heat so that we can heat the water. And when the pressure rises to about 10 kilogram per centimeter squared, then we can now allow the steam. We can now open this black valve, the bigger one. It is then open. Then the steam can now come all the way to where the cashew nuts has been placed. We put the cashew nuts here, and each of them takes about um, 4 bags at a time, 4 bags of cashew nuts, which is about almost 400 kilograms. So we put the cashew nuts here, and then when we open that valve, the steam then comes in to heat the cashew nuts until they are cooked. This process takes about 30 minutes to do the cooking, and after that, we can now put them out and send them to the peeling room where we have the peeling machine which can now peel them, and then we can then scotch them out to be processed further. So actually that's what's happening here. So we use steam, like using water from the backside and using this reactor to heat the water so that it can now turn into vapor. And when the pressure is up to 10 kilogram per centimeter squared, and we can now allow it to count in gear and cook the cashew nuts which are here. So that's what we do here. Right. So this is the selling side. And over here, what we do is that after the cashew nuts have been prepped, when we bring them here, we allow them to cool down for about a day before we can put them into the shelling machine so that they can be and shell. The shells are removed to make sure that the cashew nuts are separated from their shells so that they can now all into the next stage of the processes. So what we do right here is just to put them in this shelling machine or the shelling machine, and what it does is that it gets loaded, and we have two different holes here where the cashew nuts enters one after the other, and the shells are being made in that way. So everything inside is done. So that if we need to put more inside, then we cannot put more inside. So that's what we do here. We do shelling over here. And over here, after they have been shelled, some of them still stick into the cashew nut shells. So they need to be scooped out. Or even we need to separate the shells from the nuts that we need. So what they do is that they separate the cashew nuts from the shells. Actually, when they come to work, they use uh, oil to rub their hands to ensure that, because we know that the cashew nut shells have a cashew nut shell liquid which is very corrosive to the skin, and because of that, they rub oil on their hands to ensure that the cashew nut shells oil does not affect their hands. Yeah, so that's the reason why we can see those other bottles here, which has oil in them. That's what they use on their hands to make sure that their skin is not hurt or irritated. That's what we do here. All right, thank you. So after we have done this, you now go to the drying side. The shells we remove over here will be used for a different purpose, but the nuts are taken to the oven to be dried to ensure that we can now take them to the next stage of the processing. So let me take you to the drying, what we do at the oven, and everything that is done on the oven. Let me take you through. So this is our oven, and then this is what you use to check the temperature inside the oven. And we have to ensure that the temperature does not go above 150. And this drying is done for about 1 day, a day long, about 24 hours before you take them out to the next stage. So the reason why we have to dry them is because in the next stage we are going to be peeling them. And when they are removed or they are being shelled or the shelling is done and they are being separated from the shells, you still find out that there, there are different shells on the cashew nuts, which is very difficult to remove when they are not dried. So we dry them to ensure that the peeling will be easier, and we leave them here for about a day so that um, we can dry them to the extent that we want to dry them to. Yes. So the source of heat is we use firewood as a source of heat. I know someone may ask that why don't we use gas? Why don't we use electricity in this modern day? Why are we still using firewood? But the reason is that we consider the cost, and looking at the cost, the cheapest one is to use firewood, and that's why we are using that source of heat. And it's sometimes not really effective though, but is better as compared to using gas and paying more. Yes. So that's the source of PPE, which is at the back. So that's what we do there, and is at the oven. And after that, we take them into the peeling room where they're going to pull them to move to the better processes that we need to do. So that's what we do here at the oven. Thank you. All right, sure. So as Keep already said about the cashew processing factory, he said that it's a semi-processing factory in that we convert the raw cashew nuts into edible products. So this room is the shelling room or the peeling room. And what they do is that they fill the cashew nut that has already been scooped and they have already been dried. And over here, you have 5 different products that you are going to get. One of them is the holes. We have the bats. You have the spotted. You have the pieces, and we have the splits. Then after here, we now take it to the sorting and packaging room where we process them into boxes, and we now take them to the markets for sales. So actually, in this room, we do peeling. So that's what we do here. Thank you very much. So this is the sorting room. What we do over here is that um, after they have been peeled, there are still some of them that are bad, that are joining those who are, or those that are bold. So what we do is that we still separate this one differently. And after we have separated them, we now do what we call the vacuum packing. That's what is happening here right now. Yes, so this is a vacuum packing. We suck the air out of the sack to make sure that they are compact, they are held together, and you can now put them into boxes. So this is vacuum packed. And then the final product are over there, which are ready for the market. So that's what we do there too. This is a sort in.
Oh, really? A high Kabile cashew processing kama yeti we yeshasie 1999. Sabre no na kasi ono no ne ani bo no wo fom pa. Nti apiafo a omo Kabile ha nyina ye ka ye pumbu ye na ye nse ye bepe omo a ombetimi aboa ma ya adibalo ya gani ani sebe ya yen ton wo kasu no sa ema exportesi the bombodia omo ke process mo ye engines bi na ye ne omo e di wo sa usuo abre no so na fiscal ni bi wo ase na wo fi e yansa ni na no di voa na yɛkyi saa po wei. Saa bere no na factory biara ne Ghana ha de nsɔkɔ pɛ na Cashew processing factory wɔ. Nti ɔmo ma yɛkɔɔ nsɔkɔ kɔhwɛɛ ɔmo deɛ no baeɛ. Nti yɛbaeɛ no ɛkaa yɛn akyi na yɛn nso yɛtutu ntoboa kakra kakra nyaa sika bɛyɛ 150 Ghana cedis. That's old currency no wotake a ɛbɛyɛ 1,500,000 ɛna yɛde sii pan ketewa no a ɔresi. Saa bere no Kemrusɛfoɔ ɔmo yɛ sɛnea yɛaho keka no teɛ no ɔmo boaa yɛn ɛna yɛkɔgyee loan ɛtɔɔ machines no bi ɛstartee adwuma no kakra kakra. Saa bere no yɛstartee only 5 workers. 5 workers pɛ na yɛde hyɛɛ aseɛ. Ɛyɛ adwuma kakra kakra saa. Na saa fi no loan a yɛkɔgyeeɛ no koraa yɛtumi tua sika no nyinaa anya profits. Nti yɛayɛ no kakra kakra saa abɛduru ɛnnɛ sei a yɛrekasa yɛbɛyɛ 24 years mu. Yɛyɛ adwuma a profit kakra a yɛnya fi mu no yɛ a na yɛasan de ahyɛ adwuma no mu. Nti no ɛno na aboa ma adwuma yi abɛyɛ sei. But ɛfiri bɛyɛ 2013, 2014 up to 2017 hɔ nom wie na adwuma no wɔ fam paa. Wohwɛ a nti a yɛtee kuo yi paa yɛ sɛ farmers no ɔmo sisa ɔmo rollers no wɔ ɔmo afuom ɛsɛ sɛ ɔmo de ba factory ha na yɛprocess wie a aso na yɛatua ɔmo ka. Ɛno sei no ɛba saa yɛde sika no bi ka ho sɛ ɛbɛyɛ a farmer no nso n'ani bɛkye. Saa na yɛyɛ no. Ɛba 2014 up to 2017, 2018 hɔ nom deɛ na Cashew price na akɔ soro. Ɛkɔduru pɛmpɛnsoɔ bi a wogye rollers no process koraa ɛtɔn a wonnya profit. Wonnya profit wɔ mo ɛmfa de ka no money. Nti ɛbaa saa no farmers no bebree ɔsesa a na yɛama no kwan ama no akɔtɔn saa de ama but 2018, 2019 ɛna yɛsan startee yɛkaka saa a yɛgye busua anaasɛ yɛn nnamfonom a ɔmo hu sɛ wɔwɔ bi kakra yɛ a ɔmo boa ɔmo de ba a na yɛaprocess profit kakra a yɛbɛnya wɔ so no na yɛde biribi aka ho ama wɔn. Ɛno na yɛayɛ de saa kakra kakra abɛdi sisi a yɛrekasa yi. But last year ne last 2 years deɛ yɛanya binom ma wɔn ammoa yɛn. Nti me ara mado aforo kama nti ɛno no yɛ a metumi sisa Cashew ntɔ wɔ hɔnom. Nti deɛ ɛbɛba ha a na yɛka sɛsei a ha yɛ naale kakra kakra profit a yɛanya fi mu. Ɛno na yɛde asisi dan yi kɛseɛ wei a yɛda bɔ so a yɛyɛ mmɔ so yi. Nti sisi a yɛrekasa yi yɛwɔ workers mmaako mmaako 56 a yɛwɔ Kabile ha a ɔmo yɛ adwuma a bosome biara yɛtua ɔmo ka. Nti da bi a ade dwa bɛkɔ biara obi a ɔbɛho ntoboe biara sɛ mmoadeɛ a ɔmmɛboa yɛn anaasɛ ɔbɛtwe ba ama yɛnna yɛ partnership anaasɛ joint biara sɛ ɛbɛyɛ a yɛbɛtumi anya sika ayɛ expansion. Sɛ wei yɛtumi expande anaasɛ yɛtumi tirim na ayɛ kɛseɛ a yɛbɛtumi afa nnipa bebree ha kurom ha. Mmaa no bebree ɔmo sikasɛm ɛɛte ɔmo tu kan kɔpɛ sika wɔ baabi. Sesei a adwuma wei aba sɛ kurom ha sei no ɛnte saa bie. Nti yɛsrɛ NGOs ne aban sɛ ɔmmɛsɔ yɛn ase na ɔmmoa yɛn na yɛntumi ntirim na mfasoɔ nso ɛntumi mmra Kabile Cashew processing na adwumayɛfoɔ no nso ɛntumi increase wɔn na wɔn dodoɔ no nkɔ soro sɛ ɛbɛyɛ a bebree bɛnya adwumayɛ. Sisi a ne kasa wohwɛ a kurom ha bebree ɔmo de yɛ application aba sɛ ɔmo bɛyɛ adwuma because ɔyɛ adwuma wɔ ha sei a ɔtumi so a ɔnya bi de hwɛ ne mma school fees atua ne mma school fees. Nti mesrɛ NGOs ne aban sɛ ɔmo mmɛboa na yɛntumi ntrɛ kuo no na ɛmma mfasoɔ ɛmma Kabile man ne the whole Ghana.
But the company too is of a good help to the community because we employed a lot of people into the company. I've already talked about more than 50 people who are working here, who are paid each month, who might not have been working if not for the company. So I think that the company is being supported with funds and with a lot of things that it will help the community as well, not only the people that own the company, but it will help the whole community. If this company is being helped and it is expanded, I'm sure that a lot of people are going to be employed, and it's going to help it's going to help the whole community at large. And so I therefore call on everyone to come to support this company, so that everything that we need to do to get our people employed, we can also get them employed. And one other thing is that there's one reason why this factory is a semen processing factory, and the reason is because everything that is done out there, or the reason why the cashew nuts are not into really finished product before they are taken away to the market, is because of the um, unavailability of the machineries to be able to process the final cashew nut product we are getting into consumable product that we can get into our community. We lack the machineries to do that, and because of that, we have to sell them out to other people. Sometimes they take them abroad so that they can go and process them. And one funny thing is that after they are done that processing, that process, they bring them back to us again, and we now buy and consume. So if we had the machineries that we could also use to say, let me say, using the raw cashew nuts to produce milk, to produce powdered milk, all those things, we believe that we can get them from the cashew nut, but we lack the machineries to do all those things. So that has been a major challenge. So I think helping the company will help the whole community, and not just the manager of the company, but it will help everyone in the community. So we therefore call on every person, the government, everyone that needs to support this, to make sure that the company becomes a helping hand to everyone in this community, and even the communities that are surrounding us. But because not only people who are from this community comes to work here, there are people who comes from different towns to come to work here, and they also receive salaries every month. So it's very helpful that we all get engaged into this, and we try to help. I think it's a way of creating jobs for people, as the government has been saying that one district, one factory. But we already have factories that are not being helped. If we help these companies, we can also see the change that we want to see. Thank you very much.